Welcome to the real Monster D. That would be me. No doubt, we are all still reeling from the battle that was Godzilla vs. Kong. Yes. But today, I wish to talk about another clash between a great ape and a reptile or a saurian. Yes, I am talking about Gorgo versus Konga. Well, sort of. You see, Gorgo was a 1961 film about a giant sea monster that leveled the jolly old city of London. And Konga was a 1961 film in which an ape was grown to humongous proportions thanks to a plant based super serum and also leveled London. So, Gorgo and Konga both wrecked the very same city in the same year. It is a wonder they did not meet. Or did they? As it turns out, each monster had its own starring role in a separate Charlton comic series, both written by Joe Gill and illustrated by Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko. Yes, you can find both in these Yo book collections, the Ditko monsters, one for Gorgo and one for Konga. And I cannot stress how great both of these are. I highly recommend them both. Not only does each one contain the entire in-print adventure of each monster, but also the front end of each book acts as a sort of encyclopedia full of interesting facts about each creature's creation, both from film to comic. Yes. Furthermore, in one of these books, it is explained that while the monsters technically never officially met to fight, there were some potential crossovers. For one, there was a point where they had combined the two into one sort of double-sized book, but the stories were separate within the pages. They only met on the cover. Furthermore, there was a brief sort of tongue-in-cheek cameo presented in the Marvel comic Captain Universe, in which both monsters are being sort of forced to duke it out as toy incarnations. So, the question remains, which of these two titans do you think would win this battle? Would it be the great Gorgo or the killer Konga? Oh, I do not know. I mean, everyone seemed to have their mind pretty well made up about Godzilla and Kong, but these are different characters. I mean, Gorgo is famously known for being a younger version of his species self, not quite fully grown. So if we start there, that might be a disadvantage. And Konga was actually mutated by growth serum and may well not be done growing by the time he meets Gorgo. And who knows what other abilities this sort of plant-based poison might have on him. So I do think this might be a rare situation, in my humble opinion, where the ape actually has the advantage. But that is just my thought. What is your thought? Who do you think would be the victor? Gorgo or Konga? Hey kids, looking for giant, monstrous fun? Sign up for Kaiju Kids drawing classes. Each class is 4 sessions long, targets both basics in art and science, and fits around your schedule. Kaiju Kids is both education and entertainment for ages 6 through 12. Sign your Kaiju Kid up today. Also, join my Monster Fans Club for exclusive deals, activities, and sneak previews. Many songs make references to King Kong, both metal and otherwise. But I noticed something. With almost all of these songs, they refer to him explicitly as Old King Kong. I mean, there's Jim Croce with the song Bad Bad Leroy Brown. You know, better than old King Kong. There's Mean Green Mother from Outer Space by Levi Stubbs for The Little Shop of Horrors. And he says, "Don't you talk to me about old King Kong." There's even an Alice Cooper song called King of the Silver Screen, which references old King Kong. And even beyond that, there is actually a country song titled Old King Kong by George Jones. Why? Why must they explicitly mention his age? Why is that such a big deal? I mean, King Kong looks great for his age, does he not? Well, I mean, aside from the fact that, yes, the original King Kong film is quite old. It came out in 1933. But I think the era in which it came out may have something to do with this legendary status. You see, when the movie first came out, it was in theaters for a time, and then disappeared. And unlike today, watching this movie any point in time was not easy. You know, it essentially disappeared for decades. You know, leaving parents, you know, people who had seen the movie to tell their children and perhaps their grandchildren just how great the spectacle of a movie was. It wasn't until 1953, its 20th anniversary, when they re-released King Kong in theaters. Many great artists, such as Steven Spielberg and Ishiro Honda, saw this movie for the very first time and were amazed when it lived up to the legend. And thus, so many great artists and industry giants began their careers, began to revolutionize Hollywood off of the mythic status of this film. So perhaps many of these artists, of these songs, also were children around this time when they were just discovering this movie. So, yeah, whenever they mention his age, that really is a part of his mythic, legendary status. He is sort of become tantamount to a modern day, sort of like a Greek myth, or like a Greek god of some sorts. Yes, and after all, wherever King Kong is referenced in these songs, it is to convey a source of strength and power. You know, you must be something if you are better than old King Kong. So yes, whenever you gaze upon the great ape that is King Kong, remember, he is great, he is a myth, he is legend, he is old King Kong. In a monstrous mood for adult art fun, go to therealmonsterd.com for Atomic Adults. Choose your Zoom class type, date, and time. Atomic Adults is great for ages 18 and up, perfect for special clubs, bridal parties, other occasions, or just to get together with great distant friends and family. Reserve your Atomic Adult spot at therealmonsterd.com today. Also, sign up for my newsletter for exclusive specials and offers. Welcome to the drawing challenge, monster fans. Are you ready to go ape with me just one more time? Well, I have an interesting challenge today. Today, I'm going to challenge myself to create a brand new giant ape monster. And you might be thinking, Monster D, is that not kind of boring and done? Perhaps. But here's the thing about giant ape monsters. They are almost always based after gorillas, or chimpanzees, or more gorillas. How about we create an ape monster that is based off of a different great ape? One seldom, if ever, used. So today, I'm going to create one based off of a gibbon. Are you familiar with a gibbon? Perhaps we'll find out. So I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and then, make sure you can see that, and then I am going to begin. All right, here we go. So I stop when the timer starts. So gibbons. Have you ever heard of or seen a gibbon before? They are the smallest of the great apes. Very nimble, very agile compared to their
gorilla and orangutan, and even their chimpanzee counterparts. And if one is not careful, one could potentially mistake a gibbon for being perhaps like a monkey, but I'm not sure they would appreciate that. And they certainly are a good bit different in their own right. Let's see here. So they're very, very hairy, very fluffy, sort of, with their hair sort of drooping down quite a bit. They spend so much time up in the trees, it kind of seems like gravity has done its toll to make sure that the hair grows super low. And then they also have these extraordinarily long limbs, super long. I mean, even longer, I think, proportionally than their other ape cousins. So they are absolutely built to be way up in the trees and to swing from branch to branch and to jump great distances from tree to tree. And they are quite small. I'm not sure that one even grows as big as 2 feet long, but do not let their size fool you, because just think about how much upper body strength has to go into being able to spend all that time up in those trees. I mean, sure, you might be able to climb a tree, but can you clear an entire row of trees in minutes, if not seconds? I certainly would hate to challenge a gibbon in an arm wrestling contest, that's for sure. And now we have a giant version of the creatures right here. All right, so, and their fingers are quite long and pronounced as well. So make those super long. All right. This guy might be a tad bit upset. I'm not sure why. Maybe this fellow is upset because he has somehow been transformed into a giant gibbon. And you can see him clearing way above all these trees down here. So perhaps this gibbon is too large to swing on the trees as his species is meant to. So that might put him on edge to be a little out of his element, so to speak, to be jetting out of his element. So yes, they are fast. I'm sure they're fierce when they want to be. They're loud, as I recall, and very different. They often have sort of a pale yellow or white coat. I know there are a few species of them, but a lot of times they'll have sort of a lighter coat, but then darker features on the skin and on the face. So we'll darken around here a little bit. Let me see if I have a dyeing marker. Oh, good. There we go. So you remember, I like to use sort of dyeing markers to get a little shade, a little detail on there. Just a little bit. I might throw in a tropical bird or two being scared away in the giant rustle there. Those might be pretty big too. Those might be like hornbills or something. Oh, there we go. That is time. And this is my giant ape drawing, the gibbon. What do you think? What other great ape would make a great giant monster? You tell me. Well, I thank you for joining me for this entire episode of The Real Monster D. If you have not yet, please do like, subscribe, and follow me so you can be ready for the next episode of Monster D. Till then, stay monstrous. Ah.